Hi guys, and thanks for tuning in today for our episode of Beckie So Inspired, coming to you from Beckie's Sewing Center in Tazewell, Tennessee. This is Emily and Shaylin, and today we would like to go over the Floriani My Design album. This is the second part to our two-part video series. So if you want to see more about the sorting features, you need to check out our part 1 video. Today I would like to go over a little more of the editing features offered in the My Design album videos. So I want to tell you guys also that we will be making an update video, but it's just not going to be made until the update is available. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to click on something, and I am going to right click, and I'm going to select Edit Design. Okay, so now I am in just a simple editing software part of this. So if you look over here, there's all of these different features that you can do, and up here as well. So the first thing I want to show you is your hoop tool selection. If you see that there are 3 hoop tools, this one will just put a hoop over it. This one will put a hoop to fit it. But this one specifically will allow you to select a hoop that is specific to your machine. Today I'm going to select my Janome, and I'm going to select a size, roughly the size of a Skyline 9 hoop, and then I'm going to hit OK. Alrighty, so I have plenty of space to work with here. Now this, if I hit this button right down here at the bottom, I can add a background color, if I so chose. So see, I can pick right here that I want to add this as my background, so I can kind of see what those colors would look like with it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it back to white. Just because I want to make it easier for you all to see. Okay, so now I can also remove or add my grid back. So if I want to see a better close look without the grid all in the background, I have that option as well. I can also make it more 3D. So it takes like more of the stitching out of it and just makes it look more cartoony. And then I also have a measuring gauge. So if I select that and I come over here, I can measure how long it is or how wide it is if I need a certain size. And then this is my pan tool, which would just allow me to drag around. And you have to hold your cursor down in order to do that. So I'm going to deselect it. And then my magnifying glass, of course, is just a zoom tool. This one right here is your select tool. Your select tool is going to be the one that you probably use the most. So if I want to edit this, like say I wanted to resize it, I want to make a box over the entire design. It doesn't matter how much larger it is, just as long as it encompasses the entire design. Now I have some options. I can rotate my design by coming up to this little blue dot, and then you will see a little circle almost, and it's got 2 little black arrow points at the end. And if I hold down on it, I can rotate my design freely. And when I'm done with where I want to position it, I release. And now it's turned to that angle. Now I'm done with rotating it. I also want you to see real quickly up here at the top, I can rotate it right and I can rotate it left. I can also flip it vertically or horizontally to make a mirror image if I so chose. Now I want to come over here. So if I wanted to make this design larger, since I have the entire area selected, I would like to keep my aspect ratio. And the reason I want to maintain my aspect ratio at all times is that if I do not and I change the size, it will start to look disproportional. So we don't want a very skinny snowman. So I'm going to come up here and I am going to change it to about a 6.5. And then it's going to take the height up to about an 8.3. So then I'm just going to hit apply. So there's my snowman. So I've made him a little too big to fit my hoop. So I'm just gonna take him down a smidge. So let's try about a 5.5 and then apply. Perfect. So now I do need to scoot him over just a smidge, just so he fits. Maybe just make him a little bit smaller. Let's try a 5. Perfect. And of course you can switch between the empirical and the metric system if you so chose. And you can also come over here and set your degree if you choose to rotate it in that direction as well. But every time you change something in the size, you always need to hit apply in order to make it so. Now down here you will see your sequence viewer. So we're going to see that the first thing it's going to do is it's going to do a little running stitch, and then it's going to do a tack down stitch, and then it's going to do a satin stitch. So this is a nice little applique design. Then it's going to do his face and his nose and his mouth and his scarf and so on and so forth. Now if I so chose that I wanted to do, say, the nose of the snowman before his eyes and mouth, all I would have to do is click on the nose and drag it up. And then there we are. So there's his face is now after his nose. So if I want to edit one design at a time, I need to come over here and hit my select tool. And then I need to select that particular part of the design. So now I have just a little top of his hat selected, and I can move it. But the good thing to know is that you always have your undo button. So if you ever do anything that you're not happy with, you can always go back. Another feature that I want to show you guys is the color sort. On this one, it reduced it to 0 colors, but if there are a mass amount of color changes and you could make the amount of those smaller, this would do it for you automatically without you having to change underlays or anything like that. Now this is a split wizard. And when you select split wizard, you can change kind of the layout of it. You could set it into quadrants or into halves, either vertically or horizontally, or into quarters if you so chose. I'm not really going to get into this today because it's a little more lengthy. We'll go on to that on another video. Now over here I can always paste, copy, use the cut feature to cut at other designs, you know, just the simple stuff. But one really cool feature that I want to show you guys is called slow redraw. If I hit slow redraw, it will actually stitch out the design for me.
So this is showing you each color that it's going to do, and if you hit the little play over here, it's going to play that for you. So you're seeing every stitch that the machine will be doing. So if there's something you want to take out or something you would know to need to change, you would know where that is and how to get to it. You can also skip forward by going up here and clicking that color and bringing it or dragging it over.
And then when your snowman is all said and done, you could see step-by-step process of how your design would be done instead of having to skip forward in your sewing machine and seeing your step-by-step process. And if you needed to, say that you had a bunch of lettering and it was all in black and you wanted it to do an automatic color change so you wouldn't have to physically stop it, there is a color spectrum down here at the bottom. I can hit my little arrow key up here, which is my select notions tool, and I can select my scarf and I could change the color to teal. So in something like lettering that is primarily always set to black, you could change that to where you could do, say, a line in purple and a line in pink, or a line in black and a line in white, or just whatever your personal preference is. It's all about your options. So I think this does it for today. So thank you so much for tuning in today for our episode of Becky's So Inspired. Don't forget to leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And we are also available to be followed at on Facebook and on Instagram at Becky's Sewing Center. Thank you so much, guys. You have a blessed day.